those moves. Buy my DVD, man. It's amazing. All right, what we're going to do here today, we're going to do an amazing workout. All right, now. First, what we're going to do is we're going to walk the dog. Look at this. Yeah. Oh, this is quite the workout. Can't handle it. Oh, man. All right, next what we're going to do is we're going to mow the lawn. Feel the burn, people? Yeah, I feel the burn. Yeah. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to take the milk out of the fridge. There we go. Oh. See my technique? You see that? You gotta do it right. Buy my DVD. It's amazing. Yeah.
Good evening, Facebookers, and welcome to Steve Violet and 80's Man Behind a Desk. Thank you. We do have a great show for you lined up today. We're going to break tradition here on Man Behind a Desk. Normally we would talk everything 80s, from the McLean Deluxe, Whatever Happened to You, to the mullet, How I Wish You'd Come Back. However, today we're going to talk about a more serious topic, a topic Steve did not deal with when he was alive in the 1980s. That is the overuse or misuse, abuse some might say, of prescription drugs, often in the form of painkillers. Today I have two very special guests with me. I have Sarah, she goes to Valley High School. Welcome, Sarah. And I have Becky, she also attends Valley High School. Now, ladies, both of you have very opposing viewpoints on this topic. Becky, you are a very traditional young lady, or excuse me, Sarah. Sarah, you're a very traditional girl, and you typically steer clear of all things bad for you. Is that correct?
Yes.
However, Sarah, I'd like to get your perspective. You recently just beat a addiction to prescription painkillers. Is that correct?
Yeah, but does my hair look okay?
Oh, it looks beautiful. But not as beautiful as mine, of course, young lady. Thank you. I do want to get back to the painkillers.
Oh.
You suffered a serious injury while playing volleyball for Valley High. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. We talked backstage, when you went to the doctor, he gave you a prescription for some potent painkillers. Is that correct?
Uh-huh.
How did the painkillers make you feel when you first started taking them?
I actually really liked them. They made me feel a lot better.
Good. I know that painkillers are often, they're meant to mask the pain and make you feel like you're in a different state. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Over time, though, you became used to this feeling and you really enjoyed the way you felt. You were kind of separated from everyone else. Is that correct?
Yes.
What happened after you fell in love with that feeling?
Well, I started doing them every night, and I tried to get my friend to do them, but she decided not to do it with me. So I ended up doing it by myself.
Let me ask you this question. Why did you feel it necessary to get your friend involved? What was your thought process when doing that?
Well, I just didn't want to be lonely doing it all by myself.
Excellent point. Most drug users, folks, and I've learned this talking to many doctors in preparation for this show, most drug users like when their friends, their family partake in the misuse of drugs as well, so they don't feel that alone feeling. Becky, I want you to know one thing, okay? It's okay, you're not alone. Thank you. Okay. Now, moving on, I know that your friend here, Sarah, she helped you to beat this addiction. Sarah, can you please tell us what your thoughts on when you first found out that your friend was addicted to pain prescription drugs?
Well, I got worried because I didn't want her doing these kind of things because
How did she act different when she was around you?
she was more grumpy and she got sick more often.
Okay, Okay. Was she really the same person?
No.
No. How was she different? Was she not the friend that you grew up loving and caring about?
No, she wasn't. And sometimes I got mad and worried, and I just didn't want her doing that kind of stuff.
Becky, what was the final incident that put you over the edge, that made you admit, like most drug users, admit that you had a problem?
Well, I didn't want to give up volleyball, so I kind of had to admit it so I could get some help.
Well, I'd like to commend you. First of all, it's very courageous for you to be here today. Girls, both of you, I know that you couldn't have done this without your good friend. What is your advice to our audience that is struggling either with this addiction or is considering using prescription drugs for recreational purposes, meaning just to have fun? What is your advice to them?
Well, it's not worth it. They shouldn't be trying it like I tried it.
That's going to wrap up this segment. I'd like to thank both of you for coming on this first segment of the show. One thing I want to mention is these young ladies here, by sharing the ordeal they went through, are telling you what the issues of prescription drugs are. We're going to take a quick break. When we get back, 2 more people to talk about the dangers of drugs. Thank you.
Hey, what are we going to do Saturday night?
I don't know.
The Candyland dance.
What's the Candyland dance?
It's a dance at the Maricopa Elementary School.
How much is it?
$3.
When?
June 29th from 5 to 8.
Welcome back to Steve Violet and A Man Behind the Desk. Before I move on to our next guest, I'd like to preview tomorrow's show. Tomorrow we'll be talking about the McLean Deluxe, McDonald's. Why did you get rid of it? But now back to a more serious topic. I'd like to welcome my next guest in. This is Chris and LaTracy. First of all, gentlemen, thank you for being on the show. Unlike our last 2 guests, we have the unique opportunity here to talk to someone who is continuously battling with the overconsumption of prescription drugs. Chris, if I'm not mistaken, you were an All-American basketball player at Valley High School. And it says here in 2013, this year, you did receive a full scholarship to play Division I basketball. Is that correct?
Yes.
However, a knee injury sidelined you for about 6 weeks, in which you went to the doctor and they prescribed some Vicodin painkillers to you. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. I'm trying to get into the mind. This is a new thing. Remember, I'm from the 80s. Okay, in the 80s, there were a lot of different recreational drugs. Prescription drugs are a new thing. So I'm trying to get down to the bottom of this. When you first started taking the Vicodin, did it help you overcome the injury?
Yes.
It did, okay. Over time, what has happened and what is continuing to happen in your life today?
I got addicted.
Addicted. Did you ever see yourself becoming addicted to prescription painkillers?
No.
No. I want to ask you this. How has this negatively affected your life? In particular, with regards to your basketball scholarship?
Oh, since I tore my hamstring, it kind of messed up my contract for the Arizona State scholarship.
Okay, so basically, those opportunities that were once available to you are no longer available to you. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And according to my notes here, you are still continuing to battle this addiction on a daily basis. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. I'd like to welcome, sitting to your right, this is LaTracy, everybody. LaTracy is a 4.0 student, also at Valley High. As you can see, we'd like to thank Valley High for allowing their students to come on and talk about the troubles they've been having. LaTracy is part of an organization at the school that's Students Against Destructive Decisions. It's something they call the SAD Club. And unfortunately, LaTracy has seen what Chris is going through on a daily basis. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, what are some of the things you would like to do to help Chris beat this addiction?
Well, I'd like to sit down and talk with him, so get through it and stuff.
Okay. Do you have any advice for people? First of all, how do we avoid getting to this point?
Well, just make smarter choices and do the right thing.
Okay. I know a lot of doctors will prescribe medication. I mean, when you're in pain, even Steve knows, you know. I mean, after I eat a Big Mac, I get indigestion, I take, you know, some antacids and... However, I'm not addicted to them. How do we get from that point, Tracy, from doctor prescription to addiction? Okay, prescription addiction. How does that? How do we get to that point?
Well, I'm not really sure. I mean, it's all on the person's decision on what they decide to do.
So what you're telling me, in dealing with people like Chris and people that are addicted, that ultimately it's making the right choice.
Yes.
If you are prescribed medicine, taking the recommended dosage and not over-consuming. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Just to have you know, here on the Steve Violet Show, we will be paying for Chris to enter a treatment facility. Thank you. He will get 60 days of treatment. The thing is, we are hoping treatment doesn't always, once you're addicted to something, it really is about finding, okay, the things that have caused that addiction in your life and getting over it. We are hoping that Chris is able to go back to what he was prior to his drug use. Would you say, Chris, that in your opinion, falling into addiction has, in most regards, ruined your life?
Yes.
Okay. We'd like you to take the opportunity on the show to enter treatment. But Tracy, I'd like to thank you for having you here today to share your opinion on this topic that is continuing. It's really becoming an epidemic in today's America. At this point, I would like to thank all of our guests today. And I'd like to let you know that coming up later in the week, okay, we will also be discussing Full House, Jesse and the Rippers, How Come You Never Made an Album, okay? And all things 80. This is Steve Violet signing off for now. I'd like to have you a great 80s day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
He's drowning me in the light.
Hello, my name is William Rowe and I'm an intern here at the Maricopa Youth Recreation Center. What you just witnessed was a farm party where they gather a bunch of prescription drugs, probably from their mother's medicine cabinet, from the sister's drawer, who knows where they got them. But they gather a whole bunch of them and just take them. This is really bad because, as you saw, they did. You can go up there and kick them if you want, but they did.
Brought to you by Wata.
Come to the MYRC dance.
I don't know. The Candyland.
Ooh.